Hello guys, Wahoo here, back with another video. This time around talking about the necessary class gems on the different classes. So if you're looking for a video about how to acquire your class gems, I'm gonna link it in the description, so go down below and check that one out if you're looking how to acquire it, because this video we're just gonna talk about which classes basically need their class gems and what not. All right. So let's jump into the classes. As you can see, I have them right here. I am gonna put them in kind of three categories. One is completely no, one is like maybe, and one is yes. And I'm gonna try my best to go through them pretty quickly, but there is a lot to explain about them all. There's a lot of classes basically. So as you can see, this is the order, and I'll go through them as fast as I can and talk about why and why not you should get them, and maybe some of them maybe, right? All right, so first one is the Vanguardian. The Vanguardian is a maybe. You don't need it if you basically have enough power rank. What it does is that every third auto attack, it reduces the cooldown of your other abilities. But as I'm not a Vanguardian main, but most of the people that are say that they basically one-shot things with their I-beam. So that's why you don't really need to have its class gem. But if you're not as high power rank, you could use it to kind of boost it a little bit. So basically the Vanguardian is mostly a maybe. Next one is the Dino Tamer. The Dino Tamer definitely needs its class gem because it shines really on its ultimate, and the class gem does very well for its class gem or for its ultimate basically. So it basically extends the duration or increases the duration of the Dino Tamer's ultimate. So that's why you want to have that, of course, with some cooldown reduction and stuff like that. But the ultimate is very, very great. The next one is the Chloromancer. The Chloromancer's class gem ability is that some of its flowers has a chance of becoming a cactus and shoots out these arrows or pointy little spikes. And it's not 100% chance on it. So the Dracolite that I'm going to talk about before also had a chance on spawning the Dino babies. The same is with the Chloromancer. So maybe when we're going to see a Chloromancer rework, we're going to see maybe 100% spawn on these cactuses that shoots out or cacti, all these that shoot out these pointy things, and will make it a lot more viable if they do so. Next one is the Chloromancer, the Lunar Lancer. Next one is the Lunar Lancer. The class gem is a no-go. What it does is that when you do damage, it spawns a little dude, or basically a replica of yourself. But what I've heard, I'm not a Lunar Lancer main, but what I've heard is that it's not really very good at it. You know, basically the AI is not very good, and it doesn't really do that. If it does damage, it does okay damage, but yeah, you wouldn't go for the class gem on this one either. Next one is the Revenant. The Revenant is a very cool class, but it does not really need the class gem. If you are going tank on it, which you shouldn't, you should go full DPS. You can use it as the class gem basically, because then it does make it easier to basically tank up whatever you want to tank up. But the Revenant is definitely not one you would have your class gem on. Next one is the Tomb Raiser. The Tomb Raiser is also the next class that is in there for a rework, so we don't know what's going to happen in the future. Right now, the class gem is only good for leveling because it spawns a dude that actually does great damage for leveling, but past that, it doesn't really do that great damage compared to any of the other classes. So it's not really needed on it right now, but if you're just gonna have your Tomb Raiser get to level 30, then it's actually quite good to basically, also because you don't want to invest too much into the Tomb Raiser since we don't know what's gonna happen with it. Of course, it's not going to change into physical damage or something like that, but you know, we don't know what yet is going to happen. Maybe they're going to rework the whole class gem. It's going to make it better, but we'll see in the future. Right now, we don't know when this rework is coming, and we don't know if there's going to be other reworks. They have said there will be, but that was a long time ago, and we haven't seen the Tomb Raisers yet. So far, no changes there. Next one is the Boomeranger. The Boomeranger definitely needs its class gem. It does make it stronger, but doesn't make it strong enough to be the top contender for damage. But what it does is that your small bomb spawns these small chickens that you sometimes get from the big bomb, and it's definitely needed. It's great DPS for its level, or for you know, on a damage scale. It does good damage, and definitely needed as well for it. Next one is the Dracolite. And the Dracolite is, of course, very much needed. It's 100% need, because after the rework of the Dracolite, the Bino Babies now spawn 100%, and that skyrocket basically the Dracolite to be one of the best classes out there. So I hope they do the same for the Chloromancer, because I really like the Chloromancer as well. But that they definitely did wonders for the Dracolite indeed, having 100% spawn rate on those. So that's what it is. So that's 100% of course as well. The next one is the Gunslinger, and the Gunslinger's ability, if you hold down the right mouse button, I don't know what the ability or the button is on console, but it's basically your charge move. You have a charge on your second mouse button, or your right mouse button, if that makes any sense. So the Clash Gem basically makes, when you have that going, your ultimate, all your charge, or all your shots become charge shots. So that's why the Gunslinger does so crazy damage when it has its ultimate up. So definitely 100% needed as well. Next one is the Nia Ninja, and the Nia Ninja is also a need, because it takes this, your 3 shurikens you throw when you are in your form. When you have hit a few enemies, you do a backflip, and then you shoot out 3 shurikens. What it does is that it collects it together in 1 shuriken and does even more damage. So when, I don't know, I've heard that the Shadow Hunter does really a lot of great damage with your charge ability, right? And I've heard the Nia Ninja does more damage when it's this shuriken. So that's just comparison to what it is. So that's definitely also a needed one there. The next one is the Candy Barb, and it's not needed at all, except if the same thing with the Revenant as tanking, basically. So if you're into tanking with the Candy Barb, there's not really any tanking classes, but if you really wanted to tank with your Candy Barb, you want to get your Clash Gem for it. Again, it's because that when you press your number 1 ability, it basically makes a vortex around you, and that sucks up all the enemies and makes it easier to DPS them down. So that's why it could be great for if you're tanking. But again, you're not going tank on any classes. You still want to go full DPS, but you know, a niche thing is basically that. Next thing is the Fate Trickster, and the Fate Trickster is a maybe, because what it does is that it gives you an extra shield. So the Fate Trickster has a shield when it hasn't been damaged, and then the Fate Trickster does more damage with its auto attack. I think it also does more damage with number 1 ability, but I'm not sure. So what the Clash Gem does is that it gives you 2 shields, so when you get hit by one thing damage, you don't lose everything, but you have to get hit twice, and then you are basically you still have the buff even you get hit once, right? So if you are a Fate Trickster main, I'm pretty sure you know if you need this or not. I stand corrected if it's something you absolutely need. I would say you don't need it, but the Fate Trickster is not a one that plays or gets played a lot. That's just. Next is the Shadow Hunter, probably the one people want to know most about. The Shadow Hunter absolutely needs its Clash Gem as well. That is where it gets its rapid fire that people want so badly. So it gives you, actually, it says, if you go to your basic character sheet, it says 100%, but actually 300%. Doesn't really matter, but the point is you get rapid fire, and the Shadow Hunter just needs it. There's not really anything else to say about that. So the Ice Age is the next one, and for that one you definitely don't need your Clash Gem either. Again, if you are an Ice Age main, you might want to get it in certain situations, but I would say that's definitely a no as well. Next one is the Pirate Captain. So what the Pirate Captain Clash Gem does is that you usually only have 1 turret, as you can see on the screen, but when you have your Clash Gem, you can throw down a 2nd turret, and that does, you just basically can do 2 of them, and they do the same damage. That actually is super required for the Pirate Captain to get its Clash Gem. So that's a yes from here. Last class is the Knight, and there's both a yes and a no on this one. I would say a maybe, because in certain situations it's really good. It does a lot of damage. So what it does is that it turns your number 1 ability, which usually is just a charge move. It basically shoots out the charge instead. So it's kind of like throwing out a I don't know, like a win thing or something like that. If you know, for example, I can't remember the name of him. Yasuo in League of Legends, he has like the wind thing he throws out. Basically the same thing, just not a wind, but it does damage in a line. If you don't have it on, you do the charge. Some people use the charge to actually move instead, so they use it as a move ability and actually use it in some kind of move build where they move with it and can get really far and stuff like that. So it's a kind of a maybe, because some people use it, some people don't use it. If you get it or not get it. It's kind of a maybe, I would say, in there. So yeah, I think that is basically it for all the classes. I've been ranting here for almost 11 minutes, so I hope this helped you out and you kind of know which one you should get and one you shouldn't get. All in all, I have class gems on all my classes just because I like my classes to do as much as they can. So yeah, if you get it, it's nothing, you know, major. If you don't, if you get it, it's not like, oh, the class is completely broken. It always helps the class in some way, but some of them are basically more priority than others. And if you at one point gets a lot of class keys, you can basically just equip them all if you want to, or not. Maybe this video at least help you understand much of the class gem abilities and what they did and which one you should probably get. So that's enough for me for ranting on class gems. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. If you wanted to know how to acquire these, I have linked it in below. And again, thank you so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.